I had this big issue for most of my life. I struggled to put on muscle mass. Now don't get me wrong, I had decent genetics in some areas, for example my biceps, but I still had the big issue of how do I get mass onto my arms and other parts of my body. In 2017, before I was vegan, I went on a massive bulk and I actually thought it was quite successful at first. I went from about 60 kilograms to about 65 kilograms, but it came at a price. I felt terrible, stomach pains, feeling sluggish, feeling greasy all the time. This was all because my diet wasn't up to scratch, so I needed to make a change. I ended up trying keto, big mistake. I shredded a lot of fat, but as you can see, I lost a lot of my muscle and of course still felt awful, so we're back to square one or even a bit behind. But then, you guessed it, I went vegan. I cut out all meat, dairy and other animal products from my diet. I want that nice clean bulk without feeling sluggish or the increased health risks that other diets give you. The results were mad. I felt stronger, more awake, chronic stomach pains I had went away, and I started putting on more muscle. Now it's time to tell you how I did it in 5 simple tips. Let's get started. Tip number 1, prioritize calorie-dense vegan foods. So what us high metabolism / skinny people need to remember is that if we eat the same amount as someone with a regular metabolism, we're gonna burn off the calories that we've eaten a lot quicker or a lot easier. Meaning, it's gonna be harder for us to put on mass. How do we fix this? Well, we prioritize calorie-dense foods. By eating more calorie-dense foods, we can eat the same amount as before, but get more calories in. And this is especially useful for those of you with small appetites. Here are some examples of some calorie-dense vegan foods you can prioritize. Nuts and nut butter, avocado, quinoa, tahini, dried fruit, potatoes and sweet potatoes, and rice. Pick some of these to prioritize in your diet, and by switching these out for less calorie-dense foods, you'll be gaining more calories and gaining more mass. Tip number 2, calories in versus calories out. Calories in versus calories out. I'm going to say that again. Calories in versus calories out. This formula explains why the calorie-dense foods are so important and may explain why you either are or are not gaining weight. Calories in refers to the food or energy that enters into your system during the day. These calories, of course, are used to fuel your physiological processes and your physical activities throughout the day. Calories out, simply put, is the amount of calories you're burning in a day doing all your physical activities. In other words, the energy you're expending. Putting your calories in and calories out into this formula will give you something I call net calories. So if you get your calories in and take away your calories out, what is left over is your net calories. However, specific to each person, there is a limit to how many calories your body needs in a day. This boundary is called your maintenance calories. So going back to the formula, if our net calories is over our maintenance calories, then we can say over time we will gain mass. And inversely, if our net calories is less than our maintenance, we can say over time we will reduce in mass. So keep this in mind, guys, when you're deciding what to eat. If you're trying to gain mass, go for the calorie-dense foods. And if you're not, then well, stick to lower calorie-dense foods. So this is what I would do every day. I would try and track my calories if I can on my phone. And then I would also track how many calories I would burn on my Apple Watch. And then I'd get my net calories. I would then try and make sure that I was eating enough to make sure my net calories were above my maintenance, and then over time, I gained weight, mass, and muscle. Tip number 3, liquid calories. Liquid calories, also known as smoothies, protein shakes, mass gainers, are all easy ways to make sure that your calories in bumps up your net calories, so your net calories is above your maintenance. Disclaimer though, this isn't always the healthiest way to be gaining weight because you can gain weight quite quick. However, because we're kind of skinny, high metabolism people, this isn't too much of an issue. And arguably, I'd say this is better than the other option, which was what I was doing before, which was dirty bulking for 3+ months, eating fast food, high cholesterol, high fat, high salt foods that increase your risk of other chronic disease. So in my opinion, this is a better way of doing it, having fruit smoothies and mass gainers here and there for the high metabolism people that find it difficult to gain weight and gaining weight over time. Tip number 4, get enough protein. You've got to make sure you're getting enough protein so that you can build mass in an aesthetic way, which is going to be more muscle than fat. And to do this, you just need to look out for those high protein vegan foods because these are more specific things. So how much protein do you need? Studies show that for building muscle, you need about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, or for those of you in the UK, like me, that's about 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Now, don't go overboard on the protein, because I know some of you are overly fixated on protein and are ignoring everything else, all other parts of your diet. Don't get overly fixated on just protein. It is super important, don't get me wrong, but don't over-obsess about it. Don't over-obsess about other factors in your training, like your gym numbers, hitting PRs all the time. It's all important, but don't get too obsessive about it. And I'm watching, so don't obsess. The last tip, tip number 5 on how to gain mass as a skinny or high metabolism person on a vegan diet is don't be afraid to supplement. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't because we're vegan. This is because a lot of adults are actually deficient in some kind of micronutrient. Many publishings and research findings, it's been quoted that up to 50% of the population can be seen as vitamin D insufficient, as well as other ethnic minorities and small groups of people being at higher risk of vitamin D deficiency. This goes for other micronutrients as well, so I advise you talk to your healthcare provider, see if you're deficient in anything, and then maybe go from there. Try and include these things in your diet, but if you're worried, maybe supplement. So the point I'm trying to make is this isn't a vegan specific problem, this is a problem with everyone. Everyone on every diet has a fault, and you need to be making sure you're getting the right micronutrient. So don't feel bad if you talk to your healthcare professional and you feel like you need to supplement. So lastly guys, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for 300 subscribers that we just hit today. We're literally blowing up and it's all thanks to you guys. So I hope you guys are enjoying the ride, and as a thank you, I'm going to be making a calisthenics resource that's coming out in the next few days that I think you guys are going to like. It's going to be something you can download and use in your calisthenics workouts. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So click here for some tutorials to start your calisthenics journey, and click here for some workouts to start building muscle from home with limited equipment. Thank you guys again so much for 300 subscribers. I've been the Jack Vegan, and I'll see you guys in the next one.